sharp eye out for any animals that might be here today. Like to your right-hand side, tucked away behind that tree, there's an okapi. Okapi have black and white stripes on their legs, similar to zebras. They're not related to zebras, though. The okapi's closest living relative is the giraffe.
Hey!
Due to the okapi's mostly solitary nature, as well as their skittishness towards humans, they were not discovered by the Western world until the year 1901. Until then, we had heard rumors and stories, but they were dismissed as a myth, and the okapi was referred to as the African unicorn. It was just a little too far-fetched to think of an animal that had the legs of a zebra, the body of a donkey, and the skull shape of a giraffe. It just sounds a little impossible, doesn't it? Nope, the okapi is right over on your right. It was a bit of a shock for people in the Neolithic when the okapi was discovered and admitted to be an animal. If the mythical okapi could exist, what other mythical animals might be out there? To your right-hand side on top of the ridge, there's a big black and white bird sitting down over that way. It's very hard to see, but it's over there. That's a saddle-billed stork. You might just catch a glimpse of it. Saddle-billed storks get their name from the little yellow spot on their bills that looks like a saddle. They stand about 5 feet tall, and their wingspan's about 9 feet wide. It's about the width of that canopy up above your heads. To your left-hand side laying down, there is a beautiful black rhino. Black rhinos are some of the smallest species of rhinos in the world, only growing to be around 2,000 or 3,000 pounds. The black rhinos have V-shaped upper lips that are prehensile, meaning they can use their lips to wrap around objects like food and pull them into their mouths. Rhinos of all species only have hair in 2 places, the very tips of their ears and the very ends of their tails. Anything and everything else in between is hairless. To your left-hand side on top of the hill, there are some coppery brown animals, those are bongos. And down the slope a little way, there's some light gray animals, those are greater kudu. Bongos are oftentimes called the ghosts of the forest because they're able to move about almost silently. The greater kudu looks similar to deer, but they're not. They're a type of antelope. And those are female greater kudu as well because they do not have horns. Only the males grow horns, and they can be about 6 feet long. They're pretty hard to miss. Since we didn't see any horns, we know those were female greater kudu. Now this next part of the reserve we're entering is the Safi River. The Safi River is a watering hole. It's home to many different types of animals, lots of whom will gather, both on the land and in the water. So we're going to have to keep an extra sharp eye out for any animals that could be in either place today, in the water or on the land. We'll find out. Okay, as we go around this corner on your right-hand side, there's a hippopotamus out and eating some food. It is a little bit hard to see, so just keep in mind that it's hard to see. Please remain seated as you look for it. Male hippos can grow to be around 5,500 pounds, and they can eat around 80 or 90 pounds of food per day, which sounds like a lot to us, but given their size, it's actually not that much. It is a pretty rare treat to see a hippo out and on land like we just did. Hippos will spend the majority of their day in the water since they can move in water faster. It's safer for them. But sometimes you do have to get out of the water to find food, which is the most likely reason you'll find a hippo out of water. And that was pretty true for us. The hippo was eating a snack. Once that snack's over, it might just head back on into the water. On the island to your left, those big gray and white birds are pink-backed pelicans. They get their name from the little spots of skin on their back that during mating season blush pink. After mating season, both male and female pink-backed pelicans will take turns nesting on their eggs. The pelican is a very old genus of bird. It actually dates back around 40 million years or so based on fossil records. And there are 8 species of pelicans alive today. Over on your left-hand side, there's another hippo out on the water. Now, it doesn't look like he's eating something, but it does look like it's headed towards the water. One of my favorite facts about hippos is that they communicate with a series of noises called wheeze honks. They can honk and wheeze in any order, and their wheeze honking is as distinctive to them as our voices are to us. When a hippo wheeze honks, both above water and below water, the other hippos can tell which hippo is wheeze honking, just by the way they honk wheeze. To your left-hand side, there are some Nile crocodiles. Those crocodiles can grow to be about 20 feet long. My friends, everyone does need to be seated. If you have a little one, they can sit on your lap or on the seat. But all little ones do have to be seated. Thanks so much. They are very aggressive and territorial animals, capable of taking down prey much larger than themselves. Despite that, they're actually pretty good parents. If a crocodile's eggs are having trouble staying shaking them ever so slightly so the little ones inside can hatch out. And you know what? They'll do so unscathed. Over on your right-hand side, that really big tree is a baobab tree. Baobab trees are sometimes called upside-down trees. That's because it looks like they're growing upside down. They are capable of withstanding long periods of drought by storing water in their trunks. And to help conserve water, baobab trees only produce leaves about 3 months out of the year. Remaining leafless, those other 9. This next part of the reserve we're entering is the savannah. It's home to some of Africa's most famous animals. The savannah is very much shaped by the animals that live here. Giraffes will eat the leaves from the bottoms of the trees. Elephants will just knock down the trees to get to the leaves at the top. And the antelope, they'll eat the grasses. As we look across the savannah, you can see there's a lot of animals, especially off in the distance. That's going to get a little bit closer to as we move along. And especially this light rain is a really good time to see a lot of animal activity. So if you are wanting to take pictures or videos, go ahead and get those cameras on and ready. Just because there's no animal right immediately here doesn't mean we're not going to get a good look at some animals as we move along. Cave. There's some African wild dogs. Now our best view of those wild dogs in the cave is going to be around this big boulder. So we're going to go ahead and round that boulder. Here we go, that's better. African wild dogs are pack hunting animals, and they are the most successful predators in the world, with about 96% of their hunts ending in success. They're sometimes called African painted dogs because of the way their coats look. It looks like they've rolled around in a bunch of paint. They communicate with a series of high-pitched yipping noises that sound more similar to the way a bird would tweet than the way a dog would bark. To your left-hand side behind the trees, there's a couple of different types of antelope. The dark brown ones laying down are sable antelope. They're some of the only species of antelope that, if threatened, will stand and defend themselves instead of running away. The small little antelope are springbuck. They only stand about 3 feet tall to their shoulder. Don't judge them by their size because they're powerful little animals. Springbuck are among the top 10 fastest animals alive, capable of running at speeds of about 50 or 60 miles an hour. To your left-hand side, there's a dark gray antelope as well as some light tan antelope. They're the same species. The darker one is a male, the lighter ones are females. They are Patterson's elands. The elands are a type of antelope that stand about 6 feet tall to their shoulder. From a standing position, they can jump around at 6 feet straight up into the air. So really big jumpers and really big animals. On your right-hand side, we're getting close to some zebras. Excuse me, left-hand side, we're getting close to some zebras. Based on the extra thick stripes running along their hind legs, we can tell that those zebras are Hartman's mountain zebras. They are the only zebra species that has a dewlap, which is just a little bit of extra skin that hangs down at the base of their neck, and it helps the zebras control their body temperature. There's an age-old question surrounding the zebras. Are they black with white stripes or white with black stripes? Well, they could be either, and the way you can tell is based off a zebra's nose. If a zebra has a pink nose, it is a white zebra with black stripes. If a zebra has a black nose, it's a black zebra with white stripes. A group of zebras is called a dazzle because when they stand very close together, all you can really see is a lot of black and white stripes. It's very difficult, especially for predators, to single out just one zebra. Kind of dazzle them away. On your right-hand side, off in the distance, looks like we're going to get close to a couple of different types of animals. There's some animals with really big horns. Those are Ankoli cattle. Ankoli cattle are some of the only domesticated animals here on the reserve, meaning they can actually live and thrive on farms. Both male and hippos or white-bearded wildebeest. They're sometimes called gnu, that's spelled G-N-U, and that's for the noise they make. They kind of make a low grunting new noise. Wildebeest can go for about 5 days without drinking any water, which comes in handy when they migrate across the savanna because sometimes it can take several days for them to get from one watering hole to the next. On your left-hand side through the trees, there are some giraffes. Giraffes are the tallest animals in the world, capable of reaching heights of about 20 feet tall. They are the mammals that need the least amount of sleep. Giraffes only need to sleep around 20 or 30 minutes per day. The giraffes here on the reserve are Maasai giraffes. Maasai giraffes are distinctive for their messy spot patterns. Some spots jag outwards, some jag inwards. Their 2 spots are the same and no one is perfect. That's alright. Those messy spots, just let us know. They are Maasai giraffes. A group of giraffes is called a tower because they tower above all the other animals that live out on the savanna.
I don't think our lions are
On your left-hand side in the rocks, there's a little alcove in the rocks. There's some mandrills. And if you look carefully, the mandrill closest to us has baby mandrill. Oh. Look at the baby scratching its head.
Oh my God.
Mandrills are the largest species of monkeys in the world. Male mandrills can grow to be around 80 to 100 pounds. And the male mandrills can grow 3-inch long canine teeth, about the length of your pointer finger. On your far right side, there's an African elephant. Male African elephants can grow to be around 12,000 pounds. And a fully grown African elephant can eat around 300 pounds of food per day. Eating all that food every day is getting the elephants into some trouble with farmers over in Africa because the elephants were going onto the farmers' land and eating all their crops is gone. Now the farmers mind pretty good how they fed their families. Farmers were not happy with what the elephants were doing. They didn't know they were doing anything wrong. There was delicious food there, so they ate it. And the farmers were struggling to figure out how to stop an animal that can grow to be over a ton and is strong enough to knock down fully grown trees just to eat the leaves at the top. The fences the farmers had were no match for those elephants. So wanting to help with this problem, researchers from the Disney Conservation Fund discovered that African elephants are actually very afraid of bees. So the researchers flew to Africa with beehives along the fences of the farmers' land. And now those elephants stay far away. There's plenty of food for them elsewhere, and the farmers have their crops back to those pasture inside the honey that the bees produce. It was a pretty simple and peaceful solution that benefited farmers, elephants, and the bees. To your right-hand side, there are some tusk marks in that clay. I can't quite tell if those are old or new, but that's a good sign. There might be some more African elephants around here somewhere. They'll often eat clay like that to help supplement their diets and get extra minerals into their system. It's kind of like how we take our vitamins. And it's some of those minerals in the clay, specifically one called coltan, that are responsible for elephant habitat destruction in the wild. That coltan is used in everyday devices like smartphones and tablets. So to keep up with demand, so much of it is being mined out of the earth. And it's almost exclusively found where elephants roam. Recycling old smartphones, tablets, and other smart devices is a great and easy way to keep coltan in circulation so it can be used again and again, unless it has to be mined out of the earth, protecting African elephants and their habitats for years to come. Keep an eye out because up ahead on your left-hand side in the water, there are some African elephants. We're going to get a little bit closer, but they're in the water on your left-hand side. That's pretty typical for a rainy day safari, elephants getting in the water. They don't really like the way the rain feels on their skin, and the relief that they find is by crawling on into the water. Aren't they precious? Over on your left-hand side, there are some greater flamingos. They're the lightest pink of all flamingos, but they're not born pink, they're actually born gray. If you look carefully around the island, there are a few flamingos that are a little bit different. They are not quite fully grown, so they're about the same size as the adults, and they have started growing pink feathers, but they still have gray feathers from when they were younger. They will continue to develop pink feathers over time as they eat briny shrimp. They contain the mineral carotene. It's the carotene that gives them their pink color. So the more they grow, the more they eat, the more carotene gets into their system, and the pinker they'll become.
You seem further that they're on
And a group of flamingos. It's called a flamboyance. I know it's not the most beautiful thing you've ever seen, but it is pretty important mud, especially for animals like rhinos. Often wallow in mud like that to cool down. Then the mud will stay on their skin and act as a type of sunscreen as well as bug repellent. It's pretty important mud for them, and they seem to love it. That being there's a good sign. There might be some rhinos around here somewhere. We'll have to keep an eye out. See if we can't find any. Your left-hand side, there's two little trees, two little bit of skinny trees. Behind that, laying down, there's a cheetah. Cheetahs are the fastest land mammals alive, capable of running at speeds of about 60 or 70 miles an hour. And they can reach their top speed in just under 3 seconds. Moving up ahead on your left-hand side, there's another cheetah. It's going to be easier for everyone to see, so we're going to zoom on up, see if we can get closer to that one. Cheetahs are all muscle from the very tips of their ears to the very ends of their tails. The cheetah laid down right behind the Y-shaped tree. All muscle from the very tips of their ears to the very ends of their tails. When they're running, they're flicking their tail one way or the other. It kind of acts the way a boat's rudder acts through water. And it helps cheetahs make very sharp and fast turns. Cheetahs are some of the only large cats that hunt during the day. To help do so, they have special black markings under their eyes that attract the sun's glare downward. It's kind of like built-in sunglasses. And the cheetahs are the largest cats that still meow. If cats grow larger than a cheetah, they're going to roar. Up ahead, that large group of rocks is called a copy. Sometimes large cats will use copies as perching points to get above the savanna and keep an eye out for prey.
Yeah,
We'll have to keep an eye out for any large cats that might be over there today.
Sorry. There's the rhino.
On your right-hand side up ahead, there are some white rhinos. I think we'll get a little bit better view of them as we come around the corner, so we'll keep an eye out. Laying close to us is a little antelope with horns. That's a bantabak. Bantabak is an Afrikaans word meaning patchwork buck. It's referencing all the random little white patches all around the bantabak's body. Their heads, their noses, their bellies, their stomachs. Bantabak have a lot of white spots all over. To your left-hand side, on the tippy tallest rock, there's a female lion all the way up there. Lions are nocturnal animals, meaning they're most active at night. They're not super active altogether, though. There's a male lion moving about towards the back base of the rocks. Not super active altogether, though. Out of 24 hours in a day, they're typically active for about 4 of them. So seeing this much animal activity out of the male is pretty exciting. Look at them up and moving about. Lions form family groups called prides, and it's the female lions in the pride that do most of the hunting. Male lions will usually just sit back while the rest of the pride look after the cubs and defend their territory. The lions have the loudest roar of any of the large cats. They can be heard for about 5 miles away. Up ahead on your left-hand side, there are some warthogs. Warthogs are very light on their feet, often trot about with their little tails straight up in the air. And they're burrowing animals. They'll usually scooch on into their burrow's booty first, so their heads and tusks can stick out for extra defense. To your right-hand side, there are those white rhinos again. White rhinos get their name not from their color, because they're not white, but from the Afrikaans word "wit," meaning wide. It's referencing their lips. The white rhinos have very wide and very flat lips, especially compared to other species of rhinos. To your far right side, through the trees, standing by the warden's truck, there are some ostriches. Ostriches are the largest birds in the world, but because of their size, they cannot fly. They can run, though. They'll run at speeds of about 40 miles an hour. they don't use their wings for flying, they use them to help steer when they're running at those high speeds. The white rhinos to your right side have pretty poor eyesight. They can only see about 10 feet in front of them. To help make up for that, they have an excellent sense of smell and hearing. Their ears can swivel about in multiple different directions because they try and listen to everything that's going on around them. White rhinos are very large. They can weigh around 4,000 or 5,000 pounds. But they don't let that slow them down. They can actually charge at speeds of about 35 miles an hour. They can get going pretty quick when they need to. Some researchers believe that it's the rhinos' poor eyesight combined with their high speeds that has over time led to a group of rhinos being known as a crash. Rhinos of all species are being poached out in the wild for their horns because some people think that a rhino's horn is a type of medicine. It's not medicine, though. Scientists have proven that time and time again. One way that has been found to help stop the poaching of rhinos is to dye their horns a different color. If their horns are a different color, the people who think their horns are medicine think the medicine inside has been tainted or ruined, so they won't buy a rhino's horn that's been dyed. Which means poachers won't poach a rhino with a dyed horn because then they can't sell it. Which means the rhino gets to live a long and happy and slightly more colorful life. Hopefully clever ideas like this and many others will help prevent the poaching of rhinos so that one day all rhinos can rise from the endangered species list and live and thrive on their own in the wild. Alrighty, my friends. It looks like we're coming towards the end of our safari. I hope you had a really great time today and saw some amazing animals. I know I did. It's been a pleasure being your guide through the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Once again, friends, my name is Abby. And if you want to learn more about conservation efforts to help protect animals like the ones you saw today, or others out in the wild, please feel free to talk to any villager over in the Harambe about the Disney Conservation Fund. And they'll be happy to get you some more information. If you want to see some more beautiful animals today, head on over to the Gorilla Falls walking trail. It's going to be up the hill to the right from your departure dock. Plus you can find some more amazing African animals like meerkats, snake and mole rats. And wouldn't you know it, believe it or not, down Gorilla Falls, you might just find some gorillas. The only way to know is to go, so I definitely recommend heading on over that way. Once again, it's going to be up the hill to the right from your departure dock. If you want to see some Asian animals today, well then head on over to Asia and check out the Maharaja Jungle Trip. That's where there are animals like tigers, Komodo dragons, as well as flying foxes, which is a very large and very beautiful species of bat. You don't want to miss that. Both of those walking trails take about 15 to 20 minutes to walk through. They are fully accessible. You can take things like strollers, scooters, and wheelchairs all down them. The best part about them is most definitely the animals, but not to be outdone. In second best is the wait time. There's not one. Just head right on in and start having a lot of fun.
That was funny.
As we part ways, friends, we are not going to leave with goodbye. It's far too sad and far too final that we're going to leave with Waharini, which is Swahili, and it means go well. So go well, go wild. Have a great rest of your day here in the Animal Kingdom or wherever the wilderness takes you. And if there are any wilderness tours on board, then you'll find it's simple one. SIAVA1.
Oh.